This is the history of the hardest stages slash bosses in CookieRunKingdom. On September 2nd of 2021, dropped the Heart of Courage and Passion update, which introduced episodes 11 and 12. 11-23 contained Strawberry and Wizard Cookie. These two cookies used both their abilities and would focus on your frontline cookies, while Wizard would damage all your cookies. 11-27 Raspberry Boss. She has 3 abilities, but one of them caused a lot of trouble to players, Raspberry Reprise, which deals damage to the cookie with the highest attack. The main way people beat it was through dodging, or Sorbet Shark. Sorbet Shark's ability allowed it to not take damage when timed correctly. Since it's a DPS and has the highest attack, the second boss, 11-30, the Royal Gardener, players were struggling due to a low damage resistance and the boss containing 4 abilities, mainly targeting your front cookies. Players recommended 2 healers slash DPS cookies. Next we have episode 12, relatively moderate stage, except episode 12-30, which is the legendary greenish red dragon stage, required a lot of damage, and the main way of beating it was through damage reduction. Dark Choco plus Slingshot equals to 50% damage reduction and up to 89.6%. All you had to do was time the treasures and abilities, while healing is also important. Episode 13 and 14 was released on February 24, 2022, The Heroes of Dark Cacao. Episode 13 was relatively easier than episode 12. The only boss that was outstanding from episode 13 was the Licorice Abyss. People used summoner comps or a normal 2 tank, 2 DPS, and 1 healer. One major cookie that stood out was Pumpkin Pie to reduce the healing of the boss. Episode 14 was quite the struggle. Episode 14-10, this episode was extreme, but now nerfed. 14-10 was the Sprinkled Yeti. The Yeti would gain attack speed and would chunk a bunch of snowballs at your cookies. The best way back then was using Affogato Cookie. His Dispel ability didn't allow the Yeti to gain attack speed. Episode 14-22. This episode is fighting Affogato Cookie. Not fascinating other than she didn't allow your cookies to gain buffs and would just poison your team for the eternity of time. Episode 14-29. Dark Choco Cookie. In this stage, we can actually stun Dark Choco Cookie and cancel his ability. Players used Sea Fairy, Cotton Cookie, and many other cookies that had the stun ability. Episode 14-30. In this stage, Berserk Dark Cacao has an ability called Roar the King, which does a ton of damage to all your cookies. People have found that using Tiger Lily Cookie, though, can jump into the front of your cookies and be able to tank your cookies, being able to survive the Roar ability. Finally, January 19th, 2023, Invitation from the Slumbering Moon, which came episodes 15 and 16. Surprisingly, episode 15-17 is actually a lot harder than 15-30 because the boss has health hit points. 15-30 actually has less health than the Choco Planet, ultimately making no sense. Next, we have episode 16-16, which is also just a harder version of episode 15-17. Lastly, we have 16-30, Stardust Cookie. This stage, as of right now, is actually the hardest stage, while in dark mode is impossible.